Hey guys, and welcome to the Working Money Channel. XRP on the daily. Guys, yesterday we saw a pump, didn't we? Right now I have it on the daily, but I'm going to put it on the hourly for a second here. And yeah, yesterday in the evening hours, we saw XRP go up to 18.188 cents. Right now trading at about 0.169, so just under 17 cents. And I bet this got a lot of you guys excited, right? Okay, let's bring ourselves back to reality for a second. Let's go back to the daily chart here and take a look at the trend over the long term, because a lot of us are long-term hodlers. And this is where we're going to see some real meaningful movement on the long term. Unless you're just trying to scalp, like let's say you bought XRP at 11 cents, want to trade it at 20 cents or something like that, make some good money. Okay, I understand that. But let's look at this here, okay? Ever since the economy started to collapse, we did see cryptocurrencies fall in value as well, and XRP is no exception. Right now, my thought is we have to at least get back up to, at least back up to 23, 24, okay? Retracing in and around here before we can really start to get excited. And let me show you guys something. The market had always been very precarious, and ever since 2017 we were always kind of hoping for that bullish momentum, but we had seen nothing but downward pressure since 2017, marking lower highs along the way. Okay, this one's a low too. Lower highs. You guys can see that trend, okay? Lower highs. And you know when that changed, guys? That changed in 2020 when we saw the trend start moving upward. We logged in here a higher high, okay? And a lot of us thought that, this 19 cents down here was going to be the bottom. Well, then the market collapsed because of the beer flu. And now we're in a bit of a different spot. So things have kind of changed now for crypto, and not just XRP, guys, crypto in general. Let's keep an eye on this. I am still looking at the market. Okay, it's the weekend today, so the stock market isn't open, but we do have to see what the Fed's going to do, how this market's going to rebound, and that will definitely impact cryptocurrency, I think. And so let me just be clear as well, had this beer flu not occurred, this probably wouldn't have happened. Okay, we would have continued probably logging higher highs, because ultimately we're getting closer and closer to real world adoption. This is what they call a black swan event, folks. And so I know a lot of you caught off guard. Even I was caught off guard by this. Let's continue on here. Wrath of Kahneman here on Twitter. The IMF report on Malaysia last month cites Ripple using money match. And this is the information we want to hear, because in the space, we do want to hear that Ripple is continuing to power through despite all that's going on here, right? So they're using Money Match as a fintech player that graduated from the central bank's regulatory sandbox. And this is a clip here from this document that Wrath of Kahneman posted within this tweet here. So the link is here. I'm just going to read this though. Money Match has used the Ripple blockchain for transactions out of Malaysia. It is a graduate of the central bank's regulatory sandbox. Money Match aims to provide cross-border payments, just going back up here, services at lower cost than incumbents. The company was founded in 2015 and its products were established in 2017. So still great news coming out of Asia, Malaysia in particular, with regards to Money Match and using Ripple's blockchain technology. And guys, part of what I want to talk about today is the idea that you never want to let a good crisis go to waste. This is a quote from Winston Churchill. And so right now we are in an economic crisis spurred on by the beer flu, which is a pandemic, okay? This is not just in the United States or any particular 1 or 2 or 5 countries. This is an unprecedented global event that is changing the course of a lot of things, many of which we probably don't even know right now as we speak. And so as a politician, okay, as a government, the idea is if you want to implement change, you can use the crisis to do so, and you can blame it on the crisis. Now, some people are saying that this crisis was manufactured, that this beer flu was created and let loose amongst the public. That is one conspiracy theory. Others are suggesting, no, you know what? We were due for a pandemic. It has been 100 years since the Spanish flu, and the world was due for a good one, and this is what has occurred. Nevertheless, the point remains, never let a good crisis go to waste. And we are seeing things in government that are being fast-tracked, some of which are financially related due to the economic collapse. And the government is saying, we need to fast-track certain things in order to help our population. So this from XRP Crypto Wolf, and it's an article from CoinDesk, how a flurry of digital dollar proposals made it to Congress. Now, you guys got to remember, a month and a half, 2 months ago, we were discussing the possibility of cryptocurrency regulation happening in 2020. Is it possible? You know, there were some news articles pointing to the fact that the government was going to kind of move towards that direction. People were humming and hawing and, you know, not taking it too seriously. There's no big rush. Well, now there is a big rush. So the digital dollar took just 8 days to get into U.S. Congress. Advocates for the digital beer flu relief payments began working with congressional staffers earlier this month to outline how the Federal Reserve could potentially distribute funds to unbanked individuals quickly as the country's economic downturn worsened. Morgan Ricks, an associate professor at Vanderbilt Law School, told CoinDesk that a provision detailing the digital dollar in 2 different bills from the House of Representatives reflected assistance that he, along with Columbia University fellow Lev Manand and University of California Hastings law professor John Crawford, provided. The group has long advocated for a digital dollar, writing a paper in 2018 on the subject and a Bloomberg opinion piece earlier this week. So here goes to show you that this has been in the works for a while. But aha, isn't this a great reason to fast track this? Ricks told CoinDesk in a phone call on Wednesday that he had been working with staffers since around March 17th. Ricks refused to specify which House staffers he had worked with. A digital wallet with the Fed could be a relatively easy way of distributing funds. Still, while the bills painted the initiative as an urgent one targeted at providing immediate relief to the U.S. residents, Ricks said the process might take some time. Now, here's what I find interesting. The ultimate vision here is that at some point down the road, probably next year, people would have a direct account with the Fed consisting of digital money, and there wouldn't be any other intermediary bank. This is cryptocurrency blockchain technology, folks, no matter how you slice it. He says the Fed doesn't have that retail capability right now. Just going to go down here. The fact that it even got that far means there's already a lot behind the scenes action happening that's already working on this. So we know about CBDCs, we've heard about digital dollars, we know the government's interested in cryptocurrency technology, and this crisis is the perfect opportunity to implement it, to fast track this sooner rather than what the Fed's plans probably would have been had this crisis not have happened. We got Mike Pollard here on Twitter posting this from Wells Fargo. So Wells Fargo wire transfer update. I thought this was kind of interesting. Thank you so much at Veggie Fresh Mike on Twitter. This looks like an email from Wells Fargo to Mike saying, wire money has changed. Okay, this from Wells Fargo. Because you've sent a wire using the Wells Fargo mobile app, we wanted to let you know you'll see a new design and new capabilities with the latest app update. What this means to you, the next time you send a wire transfer using the mobile app, you can add a recipient and send wire at the same time, see any applicable exchange rates and fees before you send a wire, and now view up to 90 days of wire activity history. So I do not know if this is tied into any cryptocurrency or blockchain technology, but this is, you know, we're seeing banks all over the world, okay, not just in the United States, but banks are now letting their customers know that there are new contactless banking protocols in place, and we're seeing these emails, and we're assuming it's because of the beer flu pandemic. But is there more going on behind the scenes? Stuff that they were already going to implement maybe a year from now or a year and a half from now, but now they're forced to implement it sooner because never let a good crisis go to waste. Just a theory on that, guys. Of course, I'm speculating. This from Bubba Yaga at Bubba Cugs on Twitter. Phase 1 in full effect. Now, this has to do with an overall theory that there is a new world order looming and that the financial system is going to change, that XRP will be prominent within this new world order. And, you know, I don't doubt that could happen. Remember, we never want to let a good crisis go to waste. Let me read this for you. Digital Dollar Project names advisory group. So this going back to the US Digital Dollar Project, and it has named a 22-strong advisory group to help shepherd its work on the creation of the US central bank digital currency. So it names some of the people that are going to be a part of that, guys. I will link the article in the description for those of you guys who want to read it further. The project aims to encourage research and public discussion about the benefits of a CBDC, explore models for what a digital dollar could look like, and help develop a framework for how to create one. To help with this, the foundation has called in Accenture. Now, we know there is a Ripple connection with Accenture, and they have worked on CBDC projects in the past with the Bank of Canada, the Monetary Authority of Singapore, and Riksbank to act as lead architects with technology innovation partner. So the US government looking to create their digital dollar, working with companies like Accenture. We know Accenture, again, has a Ripple connection, and looking to really get this thing off the ground now more than ever before because they do not want to let a good crisis go to waste. I knew cryptocurrency adoption was going to happen, and I thought it was going to happen probably by the end of this year. And that was wishful thinking on my part. It could have started being implemented by 2021, but because we are now seeing this emergency response from governments, you know, to help pay, to help subsidize people who are now out of work. We are seeing projects like the digital dollar, and the best part is, the beauty of this is that the cryptocurrency blockchain technology already exists, and now it's just a matter of implementation. Let me remind you guys this clip here from Benoit Cœuré, okay, from the BIS. This from John Moonsoon on Twitter, and let me play you guys this clip.
It's about having a technology that cuts across borders and that can help cut the cost and improve the speed of cross-border payments, which everyone agrees now are too slow and too costly. So I would say the top priority for the global community is not about CBDC. CBDC will come in, so central bank digital currency. It will come in due course in different ways, and we're working on it. But the top urgent priority is to improve cross-border payments, in particular for low-income and developing economies, because that's a matter of financial inclusion, and that's a matter of growth for the global economy.
And that's a matter of growth for the global economy, he finishes that off by saying. So did you guys hear that? This from January 2020, only a couple months ago, before the beer flu pandemic hit. Benoit Cœuré from the BIS said that CBDCs were not the priority, and that what their priority was for cross-border payments. Obviously, as John Moonsoon points up here, the hype is real for XRP, because we know when he's talking about this, when he's talking about the speed, improving the costs, improving the speed of cross-border payments, there is none other than Ripple and XRP that can accomplish that. Again, this from 2 months ago, but we are moving forward with this faster and more furiously than ever. And now I think CBDCs are becoming the priority for different governments and banks because of what's happening around the world. And for those of you haters who still, no matter what you say, no matter how much you FUD XRP, okay, this from @boy_XRP, it doesn't change the fact that it is extremely useful because of the attributes, and that there is a need for such an asset as opposed to a want. That is what separates XRP from other crypto, so I gotta give a shout out, thanks so much @boy_XRP for pointing this out. This is an old post from Reddit, and yes, David Schwartz discussing Ripple and XRP. I believe this was back from 2018. Somebody here saying that Ripple's model for savings is so biased and flawed. Banks are going to save a minuscule amount of Ripple plus XRP versus just Ripple. It's a complete scam coin is what he says. David Schwartz responds here, it's certainly possible that we make lots of money as a software company providing payment software to banks and still fail to make XRP work as the intermediary asset. Fine, he says that that is a possibility. However, he does also say, we have every incentive to try very hard. And you can't ignore the fact that there is a definite need for such an asset. Today, you might need to pay $100,000 into 2 different corridors. You wind up with $100,000 in 2 Nostro accounts. With XRP, you could reduce that to 1. If your cost capital is 5% a year and you have 20 Nostro accounts, it adds up. Guys, this all just goes to the bigger point of this cryptocurrency revolution we're seeing, and I seem to think it's being kicked into high gear because of this pandemic, but that's just my opinion. I want to hear what you guys think. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Like the video if you like the content I'm providing. I always love hearing your comments. See you in the next one, guys.